Interestingly enough, we just recently, in the last 2.5 years, started recruiting our golf professional staff primarily from the UK. And that has been hugely successful. Primarily before that, it was mostly American kids that were coming down. And although that represents most of the tourist traffic, our membership is very diverse from around the world, and actually very few Americans. And so we wanted the professional staff that was more representative of our membership base.
Yeah.
We have a lot from the UK, and so we brought a couple over from England. We've got 2 kids that have recently come over from Scotland they've all been hugely successful, and it's just made us more diverse. And I think the membership base and the golfers appreciate that.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Private Club Radio, your source for news, trends, updates, and conversations all in the world of private golf and country clubs. Whether you're new to the industry, welcome, or a seasoned professional, welcome back. I'm your host, Denny Corby. Thank you all for being here, joining us, listening in. This episode, I get to chat with General Manager of North Sound Golf and Country Club. And I chatted with Jeffrey Sauvage, the General Manager of North Sound Golf Club in Grand Cayman. I was going down there for a little R&R, for a little scuba trip, and I reached out and he welcomed me and said, come on in. So I got to do a fun interview with him as we drove around the course. So I mic'd us up, took out the camera. So if you're listening, you can go online and watching. If you're watching, obviously you're watching. But we drove around the course and just chit-chatted about life, management, and what it's like being one of 2 golf courses on Grand Cayman. And it's the only public one. The other one is private, and it's a part of the Ritz. So this is Cayman's premier 18-hole golf course. So come right along with me and Jeff Sauvage.
So you're not from Jersey, but you were out there.
Yep, I spent 5 years in Jersey, originally from the Pacific Northwest, just outside of Seattle.
Okay, so much better weather here.
Much better weather, yes. Very, very fortunate to be down here versus the Northwest. But it has been. I moved out of the Northwest kind of in the late 90s, so it's been 25 years since I lived up there. Still have a bunch of family up there, so we go back every year.
And you've been here for how long?
First came in 2013. We were here for about 5 years. We left for a couple years and realized how good we had it down here, and have since returned.
Why did you leave in the first place? I mean, did you get like a little jaded? Like, was it you're kind of like, all right, this is...
A couple of reasons. One, we've been here for 5 years, and in my career, I've never worked more than one place for 5 years, so I was just ready for kind of a new challenge. Yeah. And at the time, my girlfriend, who is now my wife, she didn't have rights to live and work on the island, so she would have to come and go on a regular basis, and so and she's from the Northwest as well, so we just decided to go try something different, and she's a big diver, so she loves this place, and then we realized how fortunate we were to be here, and we decided to come back.
And now does she have to go back and forth, or?
No, now that we're married, she has rights to live and work on island, and she's a very successful project manager for a corporate services company on island, so she's doing remarkably well.
And what did you have to do to get, like, officiated to be on here?
Yeah, sure. Everybody, all the expats that live on the island, they have to get rights to work. And basically, it's a permit to work. So I have a grant permit that allows me to live and work on the island.
And how long does that last?
They're 2-year permits, and then you reapply for a permit every 2 years. And we have the ability to stay on island up to 7 years with a 2-year extension. So we could stay here up to 9 years without trying to get a permanent residency.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that 9 years, if you don't try to go for permanent residency, you have to leave island for at least a year, and then you can come back, and that time ticker starts all over.
Is that the States or is that the island?
That's the island. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
States doesn't care. No,
they don't.
Just get out. Just keep paying your taxes.
Exactly.
It's 2024, and it's time to change the way you vet your new members. Some traditions are worth modifying. The new member process hasn't changed really in the past 150 years, relying almost solely on social relationships and casual interactions, but lacking in factual data. And this is where Kenneth comes in. because the traditional application process tells you very little about someone's behaviors and character until now. Kennis has created an innovative and confidential, comprehensive applicant information gathering process that provides an unrivaled depth of information. The world of member vetting has evolved to a new standard, and Kennis is your turnkey solution to meet this new industry best practice. You can rely on Kennis to provide the facts that you need to make fully educated member decisions, because what you don't know can hurt your club and your members. To learn a little bit more or to set up a call, head on over to membervetting.com, fill out the form. You're going to have a chat with Paul Dank. It's going to be good. He's a great guy. Also, be sure to check out our episodes of Member Vetting here on Private Club Radio.
And now is it always fairly consistently busy here?
Yeah, it is. We'll do about 40,000 rounds throughout the year, so they keep us pretty busy. It's a little bit busier in the season, which is really kind of November to kind of May-ish, so we're at the tail end of the busier season. But primarily, we're a members club. We have 500 plus members, and they support the club year round. They're the ones who most they live and work on the island. Some are retired, so they keep us pretty busy throughout the year.
Member owned, private owned?
Privately owned. Yep. Which is great. I've worked at a couple of several member equity clubs, and this structure here is preferable. So we're driving around the front nine now, and we'll kind of end over on the back nine, which is on the North Sound. I'm sure you'll make it out to Stingray City.
We did not.
Oh,
we did not.
Oh, jeez.
We did 3 dives. We were here. We did. What was it? The not wreck.
Kitty
Yeah. We did that. Another one over there. Then we did the actual wreck. The one boat that they dropped a couple years ago.
Yep.
And then we did a night dive.
Oh, wow.
On Saturday. So nothing crazy. What's some of the challenges?
Steve, how are you?
For a little Sunday drive? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Just checking up on the golfers out here. Hey, Devin, how are you?
What are some of the challenges of being the only game in town?
Yeah.
Which congrats on having so many reviews and so many good reviews.
Sure.
Meaning, for being one of the only games in town, it's very easy to slip, or I shouldn't say slip, but it's very easy just to go, whatever.
Sure.
So to have so many reviews and so many good reviews, well done.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. We're very fortunate. Being the only 18-hole course on the island is certainly, I tell people, it's a blessing and a curse. It's nice to be the only game in town, but also people hold you to a different standard being the only game in town. And I always felt that some type of competition, another option for golfers would be great, because then I think people would they would have a different reference point when they kind of compared us to maybe some other courses.
Yeah.
And then also, if we ever want to market this place as a golf destination, we need some more golf product on the island. So that nobody comes here for golf. It's a diving, like you came here for diving. Nobody comes here to play golf, and it's really kind of an afterthought once people get here. Oh, there's a golf course. Oh, we'll go play. Where if we were a golf destination and had multiple products, then we could market to some of that golf destination travel. 10 years ago when I first got here, I thought, okay, we're going to focus nothing but the cruise ships. And then after about 6 months of banging my head against that door, there was literally no business driven from the cruise shippers. We realized that probably the best thing to do is focus on the locals and the membership base. And so we've over doubled the size of the membership in the last 10 years. Yep.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yep, very, very proud of that fact, that we've been able to grow that piece of the business, and really that is the main source of our play is the membership. And the membership rounds are augmented with the visitors, stay-over visitors throughout the year, but primarily we're a members club, 500 members. We'll do 40,000 rounds. Probably 80% of those rounds will be from the members. So
wow.
And the tourists are primarily here in the off season, although we get a few tourists from the Texas market in the summertime when they're trying to beat the heat. But so our membership keeps us busy throughout the whole year. So we don't quite experience that seasonality that you might maybe up north where a lot of the clubs have to shut down in the wintertime.
Concert Golf Partners is changing the game one club at a time. Since their inception in 2001, they've been on a mission to preserve and elevate private clubs, pouring capital into enhancements that matter. But what sets them apart? These aren't your run-of-the-mill operators. They are a dedicated team with a passion for enhancing the private club experience both on and off the green. It's their commitment to maintaining the club's unique identity while executing strategic improvements that boost the overall experience and financial health. With Concert Golf Partners, your club gains access to a network of enhanced properties, reciprocal play privileges, and a future free from the burden of debt and outdated facilities. They're not just building better clubs, they're crafting lasting legacies for members and communities alike. If you'd like to learn more about Concert Golf Partners or recapitalization or learning how your members will have no more assessments, head on over to concertgolfpartners.com, set up a confidential call with Peter Danula, and that's it. Simple as that. Also, be sure to check out our episodes of Board Chats here on Private Club Radio, brought to you by our friends, you guessed it, Concert Golf Partners.
Why do you think the cruise ship stuff failed? Because I would have. That sounds like it would be like, oh, these people, these older people on the cruise ship. Oh, of course they would like to come and do a couple holes, 9 holes, while the wives go do whatever. Or interesting.
It is, and it's been a huge learning experience for me. I think a couple of challenges. One is they're usually only here for 6 to say 9 hours, so that by the time you get off the boat, and there's not a dock, so they have to take tenders in. By the time you get off the boat, get here, it can be a full day event. And then also a lot of those cruises are, $700 to $1,000 for a 7-night cruise. And if we're going to charge an appropriate fee with rental clubs, you could pay upwards of half the value of the total cruise. And so my sense is the cruise industry has changed. It's a little bit more of a kind of a value excursion now than it used to be. I would say 25 years ago it was a luxury experience, where now it's a little bit different. And so I just think the market, the travelers on those big ships are not really looking for that kind of that high-end, expensive excursion that they may have, say, 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think those two things is really, we'll see a couple, we might get, throughout the year, we might get 150 rounds from the cruise ships, but that's a nominal figure when you're doing 40,000 rounds.
Well, and they're probably making more money off selling other stuff.
Yep.
Getting higher commissions and.
Yep. And we talked to several cruise lines and tried to work something out, but by the time they wanted to add in their excursion fees, and the prices were exorbitant. So it was never really a starter for us from the get-go.
At least you tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the one thing. It's been a common theme, a common topic on the show, and with clubs and people and management, is you have some that are always about change, and others that, heaven forbid, they try something new and it doesn't work. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. So now we crossed over. We're on the back 9. These are holes 15 and 16 here.
Do you have to be a member to own it, or do you have to be a member to own a house, or do you have to own a house to be a member?
They're completely separate. This is a completely separate development.
What's membership cost here?
There's a few different levels of membership. There's the all-in, where you don't pay any additional fees, and that's about $8,000 per year. That's in the U.S. figure. And then there's a membership where you pay a cart fee each time you play. That's about $3,500. It's about $4,000 plus the cart fees. And then we sell seasonal membership, 6-month consecutive, which is about $2,200.
Oh, that's not bad.
Plus cart fees. So it's fairly reasonable. It's not. I wouldn't say it's comparable with the other prices on this island that can be quite high, as we discussed a little bit.
Yes.
I think there's pretty good value, particularly for that all-in membership. If you're playing a couple times a week, that per round cost is quite low, and I would say reasonable to other markets that I've worked in.
Yeah. And now, is the Ritz open to the public?
They're primarily a members club and open to the resort.
Okay.
I do believe within 24 hours, if you make a phone call over there and they have open inventory, they would book you a tee time. But primarily, it's a private club over there, resort guests and members only.
Gotcha. Has the whole island been this expensive? Like, has it always been super expensive? So we've been to like so many, and I can, if for whatever reason, if you say something, whatever, I can just cut it out. But I don't think we're gonna get any crazy discussions.
Sure.
Like we've done, I think all the islands except for this one, and we're like, holy fuck, like it's really expensive. Has it always been?
As far as I know, now my reference point only goes back to 2013 when I first arrived on island, and I did some research, and it was one of the most expensive places in the world to live at that time.
Yep.
Comparable to New York and Tokyo and San Francisco and Switzerland and other places like that. Now, me as an American, we don't pay taxes. We still have to file taxes. There's a foreign earned income credit that we can utilize that we don't pay taxes on the first whatever amount that is. And in the golf industry, obviously, we don't come close to that threshold. So we're very fortunate that we're able to save a few dollars, even though it is an expensive place to live. The fact of not having to pay any income tax is certainly a benefit for us.
Yeah.
And it helps to have both of us working and to defray some of the costs as well.
Okay. So what's the golf association that you guys have on the island?
So it's the Cayman Islands Golf Association. Their job is basically to promote golf on the island. They do a lot of the...
Just promote you. That's it.
Yeah.
just promote me, guys. Just
they run some events throughout the year, and they support the national teams that go play in the regional events.
Yep.
Every year there's the Caribbean Amateur and Caribbean Amateur Junior Championship. They're involved in that, supporting the national teams. They put together some competitions where some of the locals will qualify and go play in the Caribbean Championships. And then again, promoting the game on the island is a big piece of what they do.
Well, and you you guys had a junior win something, right? A few years ago, 2022?
Yeah.
Something?
Yep.
Some major award?
Yeah, sure.
Big award?
Aaron Jarvis won the Latin America Championship a few years ago, and that qualified him to get it to play in the Masters, the Open Championship. So that was wonderful to see. Just recently we had another kid that kind of came up through the ranks. His name is Justin Hastings. He's playing for San Diego State right now. He played in the Puerto Rico Open a few weeks back. Sponsored by Grant Thornton, and then we have another gal that's currently playing at the University of Oklahoma, Holly McLean. So for such a small island, there's some very accomplished kids.
Yeah.
I call them kids. They're young adults now that have really, we've known them since they were 10 years old, and now they're traveling the world playing these golf courses. It's pretty amazing to see. It really is. And they're wonderful golfers, but they're better people. All of those kids, they're such good kids, good people. They come from good families. So it's neat to see, certainly to see that.
It's impressive for such a small place.
It is.
Producing so much talent.
Yep. And then we have a fair few of the local golfers that haven't done the college thing that play here. Aaron's brother is another one. He's a very accomplished golfer. He's won the Island Championship several times. Has also played in the Latin America Championship. So there's quite a few good golfers on this island. So this is we're driving up on the 11th green, coming back this way is number 12. This is our signature hole. It looks out to the North Sound, Stingray City, Rum Point, East End. This is kind of the money shot on the golf course. And it's a challenge. It's usually right into the wind, and it can stretch out to about 230 yards from the back tees, par 3. So it's a beautiful hole, but certainly one of the tougher holes on the golf course.
We were at dinner Sunday night at Blue Cilantro.
Yeah.
There was a guy, I don't know if he was here with maybe one of his work people with that conference or something, but this dude would not stop talking. And he was talking about the winds here on this hole.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this is a shot.
So I don't know if you can see, but kind of off to the left, just a little bit, you can see 2 or 3 boats kind of together. That's Stingray City.
Okay.
That's where folks go out, and there's a sandbar. It's 3-4 feet deep. You can stand there, and stingrays are swimming all around.
That's cool.
So yeah, if I'm ever having a tough day, I'll drive out here. And there's not a lot of tough days living and working in Cayman, trust me. But this is really a tranquil, peaceful, kind of puts things into perspective.
You work at an adult playground.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Very fortunate.
I forget who said that once to me on a show. They're like, we work for an adult playground.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. The worst days.
Yep.
How many kids?
I don't. My wife has an adult son, so it makes it a little bit easier on us to be away from the family.
It was never part of the plan?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think when I was younger it was, and then just kind of things happen, life happens, and I focused on my career for many years, and I mean, I just got married just for the first time 3 years ago, so it's been kind of a new experience for me. So just kind of things happen, I guess, for whatever reason.
No, I didn't mean to ask in like a personal area.
Oh, no, no. How about you? You have kids?
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Not really so that's sort of why I asked too. I was like, oh, because it's like what's not really a priority for us. It was never like a thing. So.
I have 6 nieces and nephews that...
That's plenty.
Yep, absolutely. They love spending time with them.
You can give them back.
Exactly. Fill them up with sugar and then give them back.
How big of a team do you have?
We have about just over 30 full-time equivalents.
Okay. You say 4,000 rounds of golf or 40,000?
40,000. 40,000. And it's interesting. When I first got here in 2013, it was the rule of 18s. We did about 18,000 rounds. We had about 180 members, and the revenue was about 1.8. And just to see the growth over the last 10 years it's been remarkable.
What do you think some of that comes from?
Yeah, sure.
And you can be selfish.
Yeah, sure. No, I do think, so I worked for Troon Golf for about 13, 14 years.
Yep.
And I learned the business of golf working within that company. And so we took the model and brought it down here and treated it as a business, but also one that was focused on the service experience. So we combined those two things, and I'm not sure that they'd really seen that down here before. And the ownership group has always been hugely supportive of what we try to do. They provide us the resources and the tools to execute that vision and that strategy. And then we've been able to recruit some very good quality associates. Working in a management company, you meet a lot of people, and you get some pretty good contacts, and so you use those contacts to contact their contacts, and so the reach within the industry is quite broad, and we've brought down some really, really good quality individuals. Interestingly enough, we just recently, in the last 2.5 years, started recruiting our golf professional staff primarily from the UK. And that has been hugely successful. Primarily before that, it was mostly American kids that were coming down. And although that represents most of the tourist traffic, our membership is very diverse from around the world, and actually very few Americans. And so we wanted the professional staff that was more representative of our membership base.
Yeah.
We have a lot from the UK, and so we brought a couple over from England. We've got 2 kids that have recently come over from Scotland they've all been hugely successful, and it's just made us more diverse, and I think the membership base and the golfers appreciate that.
I was just going to say, to come here and to have such an eclectic golf community and group around you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've never had any females on staff. The pro from England and one of the pros from Scotland are both female, and they've, again, provided tremendous value for not only the operation but to represent the female lady members. They appreciate that, even though they do lessons for guys, kids, the whole the very broad reach there as well.
And what I read, you guys have a nice ladies community that's growing as well.
Yeah, we have a pretty active ladies golfing group. In season, we'll do a regular event every Tuesday morning for them, and they always appreciate that. In season, we get a lot more of the seasonality visitors that are retired more, because primarily most of our members still work, and so they mostly play on the weekends. But the seasonal visitors have a little bit more flexibility in their schedule. So we'll have a good group on Tuesday. The Tuesday ladies are out there this morning. There's only, I think, 2 or 3 groups out there this morning. Most of our seasonal visitors have since gone back north. Kind of around Easter is when they start heading back to the northern part of the states, and Canada was where most of our seasonal members will come from.
All right, sir. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else you want to?
No, I think that's
Nothing
good.
else you want to say?
I think that's good.
Hope you all enjoyed that. I had a fun time chatting and driving around with Jeff. Jeff, thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate it. Hope you all are enjoying the content. If you are, you know what I ask. Like, share, subscribe. You can sign up for our newsletter. Head on over to privateclubradio.com. And on that note, catch y'all on the flippity flip.